Beautiful.
And this part's going to get edited out by Jim Rule anyway. I said that, so watch him leave it in. So I'm curious, how many of you that are here now, I know Jack, you were at the first session, both Jacks were. Did you all come prepared with questions and challenges?
Well, I'm just getting ready to start teaching the pickup for the first time next week, and I want to learn more about it because I have another business that I could use this as well. So going through the second time will not hurt me one earthly bit. So I'm just
that's
glad
great
to have
news.
it.
And this is going to be just a tad different, but I'm sure it'll be great stuff. What about you, Wayne? Did you come prepared with questions and concerns?
No, I just came to be astounded by Betsy's knowledge.
Well, and I'm confident that you will be. So by the way, did you all, on a more serious note, did everyone remember to update their version of Zoom? There was posted on the Facebook page, and there were 2 emails. We have a small bet going and how many people actually did it.
Okay, yes. So for those present, you're 5 minutes early. Go up to the little tiny green shield in the upper left corner of your screen. Click on the gear symbol from there, and that will open up your settings. And on the right-hand side, it'll tell you your version. Please put your version number in the chat. I will lead it off, version 5. You can see if I can get mine in there first.
Hey, Miss Candace. Oh, I love that. I love that scarf.
Thank you. And hello.
I assumed you were on the phone or doing one of your other 6,000 things when you
I was
first
just
logged
grabbing
in.
a bite between classes.
So
Do I need to update to 5.11.11?
what we're going to do, if it's okay with you, Candace, I've got this recording to the NCREA cloud. So I'm going to make you host, but not log the NCREA login out.
Okay.
So when you close that, I think that's probably the simplest. That way it'll be on the NCREA cloud for us, for Jim to play with. And when you should still be able to end the meeting and just kick me out, correct? If I'm not
I
hosting
do believe
anymore.
so.
Yeah. So I won't be here, but it'll still be recording to the cloud.
No problem.
Thank you so much. Thank you for doing that. I wish I could be here, but I get to go play in traffic.
That sounds
Good
like
times.
Well, I can see already that we have 5.11.11s. Wayne, yours ended in a 0.1.
I'm behind schedule.
You have 3 minutes if you do know how to update, because it literally only takes 1 or 2 minutes, but you do have to leave the meeting.
Okay.
And come back in.
Okay.
It will be right there on your application. Just hit your profile picture and choose check for updates, and it'll do it.
Okay. All right. I'll be back.
Good luck. Good luck. You can do it.
It's a 5.11.11. Is that the update?
It is 5.11.11. Sounds good. 5.11.11. Yep. Always changing.
So what's the number in parentheses after that? What does that indicate?
Good question. That's an internal office Zoom thing. I would say that's their way of indicating the application version that it is. I don't know. I'm really making it up. To me, if there's a slight change, I'm going to go with this. If there's a slight change, they might put out a 5.11.11 and then change the number in the parentheses. It doesn't really mean much to us because usually those tiny, tiny updates are just to fix bugs and glitches. doesn't change what we see as the users of the application. I'm going to go with that. I've never
But-
really.
Betsy, do you find it gets a little glitchy sometimes after an update with your Mac?
It can. I mean, I don't experience it a lot. So let me start with that. If you do find that it's glitchy, I would definitely do a series of things. Log out and quit the application,
Mhm.
and log out of your browser as well, because it recognizes that you've logged into your web browser under that same account, and that can help. If that doesn't help the glitches, then definitely a restart of the computer. And sometimes if it still continues, you would have to remove the application and
then
reinstall it.
reinstall it.
Yeah, which it's like that old thing, just unplug and plug in again.
It usually works. It's one of those things I'm like, and in a day or two, it'll fix itself. But I'm just like,
You know, Candace, they also, when updating your Zoom, there is a setting in the application to update it automatically. You can actually set your application to update automatically. It's
pretty sure mine does. Yeah.
And so in there, it's either slow or fast. Let me see what they call it. It's either, there's automatically keep Zoom. Actually, here we're recording. So I will, I'm going to stop his sound share. So I'm sure he'll understand that I'm going to stop his sound share when I share my screen. So in here, I have the luxury of being able to share with you my Zoom windows. So when you go to your video settings, which is that little tiny up arrow in the bottom next to stop or start video, and then you go to general, it actually doesn't matter if you go to video settings or any of these settings, because it opens up the same box. On the left-hand side there, if you click general, and this is just great for the recording. So anybody coming in who wanted to know if their Zoom could be updated automatically, down almost halfway, a little more than halfway, it says here, automatically keep Zoom desktop client up to date. And then there is a fast or a slow. So based on what Candace asked, if yours, Candace, was set to fast, it means you are getting every little update that comes out. Every 0.12, 0.13, whatever. And those are just the little bug fixes. So you might find it glitchy because you're getting their application, as opposed to if you wanted to wait, see how it says better stability. I still go for fast because I want everything, but that's just a good idea. And then everybody knows you can just set your Zoom application to update automatically.
Gotcha.
Good one.
Thanks.
All right. Well, it is the top of the hour, actually 2 minutes after. So I would love to get started. I don't know if I should wait. I think Jim.
Well, I was going to say, I'm one of those that I like to start right on the dot, because time is our commodity. And I can give you a formal introduction, but I think everybody here was here last time. So
it's part two. Yep, it's part two. Hi, everybody. I'm Betsy Coyne, and I'm so happy to be with you here again for our second part of polls, Zoom polls, and Poll Everywhere. Where I wanted to jump in as a typical part two would be to the Poll Everywhere site. Last time we looked at the different ways to make polls using Poll Everywhere. And first of all, I'd love to know, for those who are here, I can see by your faces, some were here last time. If you have anything to share, I would love for you to put in the chat, because what we could do is you could run your own poll even while we're all here together. This is a nice, small, intimate gathering today so far. And we have the luxury of you trying it out while we're all here. And yes, what that means is you could actually set up your own poll. So let me just review through what Poll Everywhere is and where do you find it, because this is where we left off. I have a folder in my account And yes, you find that at polleverywhere.com. So if I were to open up a new tab, make sure you go to Poll Everywhere and not Poll Ev. Because if you go to Poll Ev, the shortened version, you're going as if you are attending or participating in someone's poll. So you definitely want to go in there as Poll Everywhere. And you will see a login. I've already logged in, but in the upper right corner, if you're logged in already, you just click home and it brings you to this home page. These are just good best practices on how to get back in each time, because Poll Everywhere tends to be, it's pretty busy down that left-hand side of the screen. And you see a little house there on the left. Well, right underneath there, there's 3 bars for activities. And that's where I would always have you go first, sort of your home base. Even though the house says home, the house is more of a dashboard of all the things you can do in your Poll Everywhere account. Whereas the bars there on the left for account activities are really where all of your activities are. And an activity in Poll Everywhere is a poll. So what we know as running a poll is going to show up here. Okay. The next best practice that we covered last time was to, rather than jumping right in here, a lot of people do that. They're like, oh, I see the blue button. Let me just jump in and start creating. Well, what happens over time is that your polls, they end up here, they're not organized. And most everybody that I've met in this industry and other industries, all instructors, you pretty much have your polls organized by class or by topic or by title, by theme. And so wouldn't it be great if all of that creating you're doing in here, it automatically ends up in a folder? So the next best practice that I want you to incorporate is using folders. So I want you to create the folder first. So just as a reminder from last time, because we did this towards the end, that's why I'm flip-flopping it. I'm focusing on Poll Everywhere, the top of the hour today, by showing you, if you click on that button there called folder, and I hope you're following along. I'm going to go along as if my theme, I run technology classes all the time. I have a tech club. I show up weekly for classes. I teach how to use Zoom. I teach tech. That's what I do. That's why I'm here. And next month I'm teaching all about recording. So I want to create a folder for that theme. So 321 record, because I might have some polls that I'm going to run in those classes. You know, I'm teaching all about the different ways to record yourself and then share the recording. So I'm going to create a folder called that. You put in your name that you want, maybe for your theme. Maybe you're teaching pre-licensing. Maybe it's going to be pre-licensing fall 2022. And that's what your folder is. You can also see I teach for different associations. So I might have a folder just for them. And because I know at that event, I might go into that folder and use those polls. Once you create the folder, it appears there in your list alphanumerically. So you see here, I used a number, so it appears at the top of the list. And when you click on the title, now you're in the folder. It's just a container. It's going to hold all your polls, and there aren't any polls yet. So now I'm all set up to create my first poll. And that's going to be with the blue button where you click activity. So when you go ahead and click activity, it gives you all of the different choices. As we saw last month, when you are taking someone's poll, you're given different formats. You're either answering a multiple choice, you are contributing to a word cloud, you're answering maybe a Q&A by sending your keyword with your phone. And there's some others too. There's clickable images, there's surveys, open-ended, really great, lots of formats. We're going to start with that multiple choice again. It's just a good way for you to dig in and really get your feet wet here and make your own. So I really hope you're following along on your own screen. So I'm going to ask my audience, which of the following applications, I'm going to put in the word recording applications do you use? And I'm going to put them in each spot. So what you do is you place your question at the top, then next to each check mark, it's a spot to put in your option for that multiple choice. So I'm going to put in the choices that I want them to pick from. Something like this. There's Zoom, there's Vimeo, there's Loom, and there's Camtasia. And then I might want to give them, I don't currently use these, but would love to learn. Something like that. I want to give those people the option that look at that and say, oh my goodness, I'm not even doing this yet. Or I don't know any of these choices. Maybe you're going to give a none of the above. Maybe that's one of your choices, but you want to give them an opportunity to engage and give you one of their answers. And then all you do now is you click the create button in the bottom right corner. So what that does here is it brings it to a screen which looks like it can be played, but it can't be played yet because there isn't an A, B, C, D, or E. You know, we need to have a way to play with your phone. I see it says at the top, when the poll is active, when the poll is active, respond at pollev.com. So I do know that running the game, I have to make sure that I make my poll active, and I can do that. I can run my poll actually when I'm not even here with you, which is really neat. And that's with the activate button in the top right corner. Take note of that. In the top right corner, there's two buttons, activate and present, because you pretty much are done. If you followed along and you did your multiple choice and your options, you're ready to go. And I'd love to play your poll if you created one. But in the top right corner, you have to click one of these buttons. You could either do activate, and as it says, gather responses without presenting your activity in full screen mode. So if you were not live with anybody and you wanted to put this information in an email and say, hey, I would like to know from you over the next week what you think about these choices. You know, go home, do your homework, or however you correspond, and let me know. And you can just activate your poll. You don't even have to be there. They would go into pollev.com, put in your username, and they'll see these choices. However, here we are live. I can run this poll with you live, and I do that by clicking present. How great is that? Click present. Now you can see the choices A, B, C, D, or E. So if you wouldn't mind, let's play along with me here. If you've got your phone, take your phone out. I can see people who are, maybe you were with me last month and I'm already there in your phone. If you are getting your phone set up, you want to go to your text messages and you're going to text my phone number. You don't know my number. My Poll Everywhere number is 37607. So you're going to start a text to me, 37607, as if that's where you put the phone number. And if you get a pop-up that says, tap this link, do not tap the link. You don't have to tap any links on your phone. It's going to open up on the screen. It might even say you're still a part of Betsy Coin's poll. Once your screen on your phone for text messaging looks like it's ready, the message you're going to send me is my name, Betsy, and then you're going to put the letter C and then 179. And that's what you're going to put, as if that was, you were going to type hello to me in that spot. That's where you're going to put it. Betsy C179. And tell your students this as well. When they are putting in the message to you, make sure they know that our phones tend to autocorrect what we're typing. So something like Betsy C179, it might think, well, that's not a word. So it might even just try to autocorrect it. So just make sure people see that when they're looking at their phone. And I can see you're already finding your way. Beautiful. Once you get to this point and you've joined my session, then all you do, as some of you already have done, is you type the letter and the letter corresponding to the choices. And that's how you participate in someone's poll. You can, in Poll Everywhere, the way I have it set up, you can give them the option to respond more than once, or you can set your poll so that they can't respond more than once. And if you try in your phone now to enter another letter, if some of you maybe are adventurous and have already tried that, notice your phone comes up and it says you can no longer respond to this activity. It allows up to 1 response per participant. You can change those settings back in the Poll Everywhere application. Beautiful. Thank you so much for playing along. We have a small group today, and so everybody should have been able to get into this poll. And the reason I say that is because I have a free account. And in a free Poll Everywhere account, it limits me to the number of people that can vote or take part in the poll. I actually have an educational account, a free education account. It gives me 40 votes. So 40 people can take part. Don't fret if you have a regular free account, it does limit you to 25. They don't know that. They don't know that. You put your poll up on the screen. Nobody knows that. You can just say, all right, let's get ready. You have 30 seconds. You can make it motivational so that they get in there and get their vote in. Yes, Jack Burnish.
One quick question. If I put this in a newsletter or something like that, outside the classroom here a little bit, will the people who participate in the poll will they be followed around on the internet? If you know what I'm talking about, you can click on something about something you're interested in, all of a sudden you're getting pop-up ads for that particular subject. Is there anything, do you have any thoughts on that?
No, you mean if I, like I said, activate it and then put the pollev.com/ and your username in a newsletter, like you said? No, Jack, it's really as if you were going to put in your website link and they click the link and they go there to either enter a drawing. No, it really isn't. Nothing's going to follow them around. They're going to have the option. They're going to see it on their phone if that's where they're going. Look, if they read your email or your newsletter from their computer, they could do the pollev.com right from their computer, stationary in their home or home office. So it's really a great way to gather data. I know we're here to talk about polls like during a class, right? Because you want to engage with your audience when they're on with you in person or online. But there's really, it's pretty safe. Yeah. Thank you.
I have one more question, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Sure, I forgot what it was. If I put a poll in a newsletter, and it won't be present, and if I just click activate but not present, then they can participate in the poll. And I guess I would go to my calendar site and see the results. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for that beautiful transition, because that's where I'm going to take you next, is to the responses. So yes, exactly. You can just keep it active the whole time. And then periodically you can go in and say, oh, let me see how many responses I have so far from my class of 100 people who are out there, doing their assignment or looking through the material that I gave them. Or you may not even be giving them opinion questions. You may be giving them, please answer the following, A, B, C, or D. And based on what their reading assignment is, if you do pre-licensing or something where the group comes back to you over recurring dates. Yeah.
One last thing, probably something. Now, if I'm not presenting, so I can go to my account and see the results. Does it show me who participated?
It shows you how many participated. It shows you the phone. I believe it shows you the phone number. That's a good question. Let's go, as we say, I was just going to say, let's go to the videotape. Let's go to that screen and we'll take a look there. Are there any questions first? Great question, Jack. We'll go look at the responses. Any question on this, the presenting, the activating, the playing from your phone? I can see, if you answered honestly, I can see here that at least for this group, it's a great test to see what I get to teach as far as recording, if we were to do recording in our group next month, as far as what, because I would love for you all to learn Vimeo and Loom. Those are really great programs on quick, easy ways. Just a little teaser, quick, easy ways to record. So what I'm doing now on my computer, you can't see, is I'm going to use the escape key. That's what I just pressed, the escape key. Notice I'm not even in PowerPoint. So there is a way to run this. I covered it last month from your PowerPoint slide. You can just incorporate this right into your PowerPoint. I'm just running right from the browser. I opened up my Chrome browser. You saw me do that. I navigated to polleverywhere.com. I logged in. I created the poll. Look at that. It's 3:20. It's 20 minutes after the hour, and we've run a poll. So created it, presented it, and got the responses back. So you could certainly have this already created and run it real easily. That's what I love about it. Okay. So once we get back into our account here, I'd like you to look to the left sidebar and remember that when you click on those bars there, the bars always reorient you, that symbol, to the activities. And then that's where you see all your folders. I'm going to do that frequently with you to remember. I'm going to click back on that 321 record, and notice now we have an item in there. So we've got the poll, the activity that we created together. And then there it is. Which of the following recording applications do you use? But this time, let's look a little further. We're not going to click on the title. If you clicked on the title, you would go in to present it again, or activate it, or edit it. But over to the right, there are two symbols. One is a little triangle with rings around it. You could simply just activate a poll without even going into it. So real easy, right on the screen. You might have a whole list of them, and you can just click that button just to activate it or deactivate it. So that's there for ease of use. The three buttons, that icon is it's very well known or commonly used to indicate a menu of choices. So it's often meaning like it's the more menu. When you click there, you see more options. And you'll see there when you click the three dots next to the poll that you're interested in, you click on See Responses. And now we go in here, and there we go. As I thought, it does give us the phone numbers for security reasons. I don't know your exact phone number, but if I needed to know who you were playing in my class, I would need some information about your phone number if I needed to know, who you were. If I needed to know the actual person, by email address, then I might encourage you to run this poll in Zoom polls, because you will get the email address of the person who is attending your Zoom meeting over there in Zoom. So keep that in mind. If you had a list of phone numbers, cell phone numbers, I don't know if you do that for your classes, you could identify that here by the last 4 digits. And then at the top, it does summarize. If I needed to remember, I'm not back on that screen where we see the percentages. This is a way that I can remember. And what's great about this is in the upper right corner, there are options up there. I can download these numbers into a spreadsheet. So if I had 100 of you here and I wanted to see this across the board in a spreadsheet and then analyze it for later, I could do that by downloading these answers into a CSV, and that would go into Excel. So it's very helpful there too. Any questions there on responses and viewing them? That's great. When it's time to run this poll again, let me just back out here. So let's say I ran this with you last week, and now we're back again for our next weekly recurring meeting. And I'm going to run the same poll again to see what your thoughts are. This one doesn't really apply, but let's say I want to run it again. When I go to those 3 dots, notice that there is, that's not what I want, I'm sorry. I'm going to click in the checkbox for the poll, and this is what I wanted to show you. a whole listing or toolbar of options appears just by clicking the checkbox for the poll. Look at that. I can move this to another folder. I can duplicate it if it's a similar poll to something else I want to create. But this is what I wanted to show you. I can clear the responses. Very important that when you're going to run it again, I don't want that poll to come up with the 40%, the 17%, the 33%. I want it to be clean, clear. So it's set back to 0 again. So every time you're going to go run your polls again for your class, you want to come in here and you want to click clear. Of course, I just showed you how to download the responses. You want to grab that data because it'll be gone unless you don't do that. You can also do it here. You can see where it says download CSVs. You can download screenshots of the polls if you needed to remember what it looked like. Put it together. You could take the screenshot and put that into PowerPoint, although I don't do it that way. And so watch what happens when we click clear, not delete. Delete would delete the poll from my folder. If I click clear, my choices here are to clear and archive. So fortunately, they say, well, we're going to clear this out of your account. So we'd like to know the archive name. I'm just going to leave it there. So I know that I archived it on this date at that time. And when I click archive, then it tucks that away in my archive. And when I go in to present again, I'm going to click on the title and I'm going to click present. And then there we are, we're back to 0 again. If I had not cleared and I went in here, I would have the numbers from last time there. So it's very important that you clear before you run again. All right, beautiful. There we go, okay. Now, before we switch on over to Zoom polls, because we're going to do a little bit in there with those advanced polls and quizzes, most important thing is that you updated today to see that. If we go back in here, and I'm going to create one more together. So again, we click the blue button for activity that creates the poll. And this time, click on word cloud. The word cloud format across the top. Very neat. I'm going to go back to Jack's question or comment. This is a great one to use with that activate. Just put that out there that we're gathering your thoughts between now and next week, and all their thoughts will come in. So they know that they have to go into your poll or they see your newsletter and you say, I'd really love to know what you think about this concept or this current event. And so please go to my poll here and fill in your answer in the word cloud. So something like this, I would say, what do you record yourself? Oh, I should say, when? When did you record yourself last? And I'm going to create that. And I hear somebody, might be, there we go, just needs to be muted. I'm going to present this. And you should still be activated to my poll. And this is a word cloud. So there isn't any A, B, C, D, or E. You can put in whatever your thought is. It can be never, it can be yesterday, it can be don't know how, it can be the month. So you can put in the last time you recorded yourself. And what the word cloud is doing at this time, and this does let you respond more than once. So you can put in what you thought, and as the word cloud is building, the words that are used most often are the most highlighted words, biggest and the biggest font. So this could be, I did this once with a group from all over the world, and typically in a Zoom meeting, we might say, put in the chat where you're from, and up the chat scrolled, 100 people in attendance. And I saw Bahrain, I saw South Africa, I saw Australia, and I thought, oh my goodness, that would look gorgeous in a word cloud. So I threw up a poll on the screen. Where are you from? And then the word cloud comes up, and I saw states, and I saw country names, and it was a beautiful graphic image of where everybody was from, our group that is working together. I love that. Somebody puts in the year. I love that. I'm just going to play with this here, and I'm going to put in another year. And it's still open. You can just leave this open and walk away as long as it's active, and it'll keep gathering data. Great, right? Isn't it nice? A really great visual representation of your question. Any questions or comments for me there?
Betsy, I have a question.
Yes.
So I know you're leaving the word cloud open, but what if you want to also launch another poll? Does that do away with the word cloud?
Not at all.
Okay, so how does my phone know which question I'm answering?
Oh, really, really good question. So that's a very good question, actually. So right now, because I'm live with you and I'm using my account, I would make sure, Sandra, that I only have the one that I'm presenting is the one that you're answering. If, however, I'm walking away and class is over and I'm only going to leave the one that I want you to answer active. That's a very good question. Actually, you're going to challenge me to try that out. If I had more than one active, would that be possible? I have not tried that scenario. Anybody here, just by any chance, tried having more than one active? Thank you for that question. I'm going to try that. I would assume that you have to have only one active, and that's what's gathering the data. Actually, we're all here. I mean, I'm always game. I can just try putting more than one active and see what happens. Yes, Jack, go ahead.
And you may be going to cover this later in this class here. I still don't have it in my mind. I mean, I know I can copy and paste into a PowerPoint slide, but my question is, so when I get to that point and a slide comes up and I say text to and so forth, I have that. How does all that tie back in so then they can see the results if I want to present it? I don't have that in my head exactly how that works.
So you want to be able to see the results from the PowerPoint? Was that the question?
Yes, I'm teaching a class and I've got the poll up there. And so I want them to be able to see as people go online and answer how the bars go out, that type of thing. I've seen it done. I mean, I've been in a class where it was done. I just don't know how to put it into a PowerPoint other than copy and paste. That's about the limit of my knowledge right there.
I gotcha. Very good question. And may I ask, do you use a Windows computer or a Mac?
No, I use a Windows. Mm-hmm.
Windows. Okay. Then what I'm going to do here for you is I'm going to switch over the share. So I'm just going to stop the share here and I'm going to start the share. That's why I love to come into these with more than one device. I come to you, my camera in front of me is a Mac computer, but the computer off to my right is a Windows. And the reason I asked you that, and so everybody knows, is that when you incorporate Poll Everywhere into PowerPoint, you need to install a program. And that program is located on the Poll Everywhere website. So let me just show you that first, and I'm going to get back to the PowerPoint, Jack. When you go to your polleverywhere.com, so the main website, and you scroll all the way down, there is an option at the very bottom, very, very bottom. Look at me, I scrolled. Oh, I've got the wrong. Let me get the desktop browser up there. There you go. So I've scrolled, here I was, polleverywhere.com. There it is, main website. You can be logged in or not. I would be logged in because you're going to be doing some Poll Everywhere work. I'm scrolling a bit fast, but I'm going all the way to the bottom, literally, of this website page. And at the very, very bottom is this section, kind of like where you would go for tech support, things like that. And there is a column down there of items that says desktop apps. And one of the items says PowerPoint. So you're going to go ahead and click there because this is going to set up your PowerPoint so that you can incorporate the Poll Everywhere slides right inside your PowerPoint. It's magical. It actually integrates with your PowerPoint program. That's why I asked you Windows or Mac, because if you do this on a Mac, anybody present today with a Mac, by the way, you can just, Candace has a Mac. Candace, you're going to do this. It's going to look a little different once you install it. Macs use the program externally. It's just another program sitting out there. Whereas Windows is going to put a new tab in your ribbon bar in PowerPoint. So I'm just going to skip these steps, but we're going to assume you went ahead and you downloaded for Windows. That program goes to your downloads folder, and then you're going to install that program. And then what you see is going to be this inside your PowerPoint. So here it comes. Right up here, see that at the very top? That's a new tab, Poll Everywhere tab. You're only going to see that ribbon bar tab if you've done the install. Okay, so you've got to go through the install first. You've got to install that program. Candace, on your Mac, you're not going to see this. It's going to be an extra program in your dock. So you're going to have Poll Everywhere open from your local computer, and you're going to have PowerPoint open. That's the only difference there. So now, Jack, watch what happens. This is amazing. What's happening now is I am logged in. If I were to show you, I am actually logged in the browser. So here we go. Look, I'm on my Windows computer. Just like we just saw, I'm logged in. This is very important because when I go back to PowerPoint, it's going to identify all my folders. It's going to be able to pick which ones I want to put in the slides. So what we're going to do is we're going to go for putting this 321 record word cloud in our slide. So back there on PowerPoint, you're going to navigate in your presentation to where you want to insert the new poll. Maybe I'm going to go a little bit further down, right about here. So I'm going to get active in the PowerPoint where I want it. And then in the Poll Everywhere ribbon bar, again, I only have this up there because I installed it. You're going to go to where it says Insert, right there at the top, Insert. And now it knows the Poll Everywhere verbiage because it's all built for Poll Everywhere stuff. And you're going to go to Activity. And from there, well, you can't see this, but it does prompt you, if you're not logged in already, to log in. Figured that it would see it, but probably because I got my Mac ready first. So you didn't see that on the recording, but if it prompts you to log in, follow the prompt, and then you will see the next prompt will be your polls. So you're going to navigate to your poll that you want, and it'll say Insert Slide. And then miraculously, picking back up here in the recording, there it is. So what happens here, Jack, it's amazing, is that you're going to, let me just get this out of the way. So let me show you as if you were presenting. Watch this. So here I am in PowerPoint and I'm talking to you about something. I was like, you know what, everybody, let's run a poll. And then all I do is I advance. Here it comes to the next slide, because it was the next slide where I inserted it. And there it is. Now, all the data is still there because we ran it together and I haven't cleared the responses. But to answer your question, the responses are going to be right there on the slide. It's gorgeous. I don't have to use the browser. It's all integrated. How's that for you?
That's good. I'm assuming I have to have an internet, a Wi-Fi connection.
You do. You need internet connection for this.
Okay, some places I teach, they've heard of Wi-Fi.
Yeah, if you have weak connection, then what you can do is you can have everybody play it on your phone. You're not going to be able to see the results on the screen, unless you can use your phone for that game as the hotspot, for your computer, just to run the game from your phone, if that's all you were doing with the PowerPoint. But yes, you do need internet for this. What some people do, Jack, you can't show the results if you're thinking, no, I don't want to bother with hotspot, and I really don't. Everybody has their phone, so they can play. And you can certainly make slides that are static based on what they're seeing, the choices, because what the choices are, A, B, C, and D. And on their phone, and you can do a snapshot of the POLEV with your username and all of that. So you can give them a snapshot of the screen and have them play. They're just, in order to see the answers live, yeah, you either need to use your cell phone hotspot or have Wi-Fi.
Thank you so much. You've been a big help. I hope I'm not taking up the class. I don't mean to do that. I apologize. I am.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Any other questions on the poll everywhere before I just switch over to?
I did look it up, and according to Poll Everywhere, to answer Sandra's question,
Yeah.
you can have multiple polls activated, and you'd have to make sure you give them the survey link. So each item has a survey link. Here, I'll put put it in the chat for you.
Thank you so much.
And I just went through and tried it, and it works.
So
everyone a meeting.
I love that. That's exactly what I would have done next.
Mm-hmm.
Is
so next to the activity, let's see, where was I? So
yeah.
You know how when you're in the activity, you can click on it and it's got remember the little circles where the circle thing is, and you can activate it right from there.
Yep.
And then go to the three dots, the hamburger menu.
Yep.
Copy response link.
Beautiful. So as long as we give them that link, that's specific to that one.
Yes. Each one is specific to each.
Thank you so much. Beautiful.
I was like, oh, I need to know the answer. So
love that. I love that. Thank you. Beautiful. All righty.
I have a question.
Yes.
You said create a folder for this class, and then in the spring of 23, I run another pre-licensing class. I want to use the same poll. Do I just copy and paste it to the new folder?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
So that is done right there. See, duplicate. So I did Airy. I actually was their speaker in 2021. So if that said 2021, I could just come here, click the, Candace called it the hamburger or the hot dog. I've heard that too, or the more menu. And then there's duplicate, Sarah, right there. So that's going to duplicate the entire folder. And I could call it Airy 2022 if I wanted. That help?
Yes, great. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Any other questions on Poll Everywhere before I switch over to the Zoom polls? All right, thank you very much for those questions. Let's just hop in here over to Chrome. And not that one. This one. Nope. Okay. Sorry about that. I don't know what's getting stuck on me. I think what's happening is sorry about that. I think I left my Chrome open with the poll running. I did. And it just Zoom was not liking that. So here I come back again. I had to manually press escape and now I can activate Chrome. So that's what was holding it up. And I've got zoom.us open in a tab in this Chrome window to bring us back to Zoom polls in the background. And last month, I covered with you, you can see in this listing here, these are all the polls and quizzes that are in my library. Big change that Zoom made, polls used to be attached only to meetings. You had to create the meeting first and then make the poll. Thank goodness they released that. So now when you go into your account, you have to go to meetings on the left like I am here. And then across the top, notice that there is a polls quizzes tab. And then you can just create these at will. You don't even have to have the meeting created. Keep in mind though, please, I meet a lot of instructors for real estate classes who teach for associations or teach for other schools so that you're brought in and you're not the one who set up the meeting and you're not the one who is hosting until you arrive and then maybe they make you a host. If that is the case, then please, please, please take your poll questions and give them to the admin of that account ahead of time because those polls will only appear in the account that's hosting the meeting. So that has to be done ahead of time. It can be done weeks ahead of time. And then as you create the polls, there's either classic polls, which are only multiple choice, single or multiple, single choice, multiple choice, or the advanced ones, which involve fill in the blanks and rating scales and images. And that's what I wanted to show you today. So if you notice on your screen, this is where we're going to try it now with your new updated Zoom account. Last time there were people present in the meeting who could not see the polls because they were advanced polls. And you look on your screen now, there is a poll. You can see here, it's called Tell Me Something Good. I want you to tell me about yourself, about your device that you're using. But more importantly, in this teaching moment, as you go down, notice that some of the questions, like the first one, from what type of a device are you joining the meeting right now? That is a multiple choice. You can pick as many as you'd like, multiple choice. This is an advanced poll. Is there anybody, by the way, who is not seeing this on their screen? The title is Tell Me Something Good. Beautiful. And most likely this is not showing up in the recording. So for those who are watching back on the replay, it does look something like this, just to be fair. I do have the poll up on the screen from my account. And it looks something like this, where what device are you joining with? And then you see there's options and you can pick as many as you'd like. The next option is, have you ever connected two devices in the same Zoom meeting? And in that poll, you can see you've got a drop down, yes, no, or I don't know how. And so an advanced poll gives you these different formats. Beautiful. It's a beautiful way to engage your audience because you've got different ways. You can have a short answer and a long answer, like what is the main reason that brought you here today? And number 3, go ahead and tell me that. And you actually have a place to type your answer. So you can get open-ended questions as well. Number 4, if you could have the easy button on technology, what is the one thing about tech that I can make easy for you? That's a long answer. So that gives you 2,000 characters as opposed to just 500. And then finally, how often do you host Zoom meetings? And you've got a rating scale, 1 to 5. And so these are all brand new options with advanced polls. You must click submit in the very bottom. You don't see submit on the recording. You do see save, but that's because it's in my account there. Are there any questions on submitting, seeing an advanced poll, submitting it? Work pretty smooth for everybody. That's good. I am starting to see the results. So thank you very, very much for taking part there. I do see the percentages. So the host does not take part, the co-host does not take part. So when you see your numbers there and you see the number of participants, keep that in mind, that right now we have 9 participants in the meeting, but as it says at the top of my poll, 2 of 7 have participated. So only 2 of you have clicked submit so far. And when you see that happen in your meetings, just go ahead and encourage them to take part. And sometimes people don't know to scroll down to see more questions. Sometimes they don't know to click submit. So you can certainly encourage them to do that as well and take part in this poll. Of course, if you're running a poll in some sort of requirement that they must take part, it's required, and you need to wait until there's 100% participation. You could certainly make it, turn it into some sort of gamification that they get it in a certain amount of seconds. We've already used 3 minutes. You can have a timer going on visibly on the screen, lots of different ideas for that. Okay, beautiful. Thank you. I can see 3 of you. Anybody having trouble finding the poll? Maybe some people are present and have taken a call right now. That's possible too. All right, terrific. In the meantime, what I can do here is I can tell you now that we're going to end the poll in about 10 seconds. So please get your answer in right now before I end it. And thank you. And so you can give them an ending point and then you can click end poll. And once I do that, there's no way you can answer. Is that what you wanted to know, Wayne? Yeah. So there's no way after I click end and I give you that signal, there's no way you can answer now. I can share the results. Now this is very interesting. I don't know if it was with this class or with another one, but I was asking for email addresses to, if you wanted to like come to a future class I was giving. And I didn't share the results. And I can't confirm this for you, but I went in to run a poll report after the meeting and it wasn't there. And so I'm going to encourage you to always share the results for that reason. So if you know that you need to print a report afterwards, go ahead and share the results like I'm doing now, and it would come up. I'm just thinking now, I don't know if it was this class. I'd have to ask Jim or Candace to go into the association account under the August date and run a poll report and see if it's there, because it would be under not my account, it'll be under the association account. I don't think it was for this class though, but keep that in mind. And I love sharing the results anyway, because I can talk to it. You want to acknowledge to your audience, thank you for participating. As you can see here, most of you are using a Windows computer today, and it's great for me to know that. Because as I go through the Zoom application, there are little differences between the computer and especially mobile. So when you're here on your phone, there are definite differences that you're gonna find with desktop. So I can speak to that. Definitely want to tell your audience a thank you for participating and why. All right, any questions on that, on running a poll, sharing the results? All good there, because I can stop the sharing now and that makes it disappear from your screen. There is a way you can relaunch it if you wanted to. I also wanted you to know this. I had Jim help me yesterday, and we just put this one in real quick. All right, so clear your minds a minute and think to yourself, all right, you've just been teaching for 10 minutes, and it's time to just collect yourselves. How's it going so far? Tell me what you think. You could run a poll as simple as this. Tell me what you think. I have another poll in the account in the library. That's all it says. How's it going right now? Tell me what you think on a scale of 1 to 5. And Jim helped me with the ratings, as you can see. It's fun to use humor if you can. Why am I here? Would be a 1. And it's going great. You know, why am I here? Is this on the test? Up to a 5. And so you can get that feel of the audience. How's it going right now? You can do a, should I go faster? Should I go slower? It can be a yes, no. It doesn't have to be this lengthy poll with 10 questions. It can just be 1. And you get the chance to have multiple polls in your class. Each poll has either 1 question or multiple questions. Yep. Love, love, love that. And so we've got a bunch of, look, I'll tell you here, I'm going to end the poll. Thank you so much for participating. Just spent about a minute on that one. You can see, you can get your answer in, now. I'd love to know what you think. And then you can end the poll. And if I wanted to, I don't need to save these results. You know, I can just talk to you about it. I can see we got a bunch of 4s and a bunch of 5s. So I can see that we're doing really good. And if I'm all across the board, I can maybe talk to the 1s and say, you know, let's backtrack a little bit. Tell me in the chat with the keyword, which topic, what keyword do you need me to, you know, you can go back and really get a chance to review if you need to. Love that one. I learned that from an instructor. She's not in the real estate industry. And she mentioned that to me last week. She goes, you know what? I always have that poll on hand. It's in my library. I said, that is brilliant. You just bring it up. It's in the library. It's always there. It's in every meeting because it's in the library. So love, love, love that. All right, one more. And that is this one. Okay, now I can't launch this today. This is in my account, but I wanted to show you some of the advantages of doing advanced polls. Look at this. First of all, this is the background of how it's put together. You can have those short answers like we saw, the long answers like we saw, and how is that done? Your poll lets you put together questions and the format of the question is right there. You can make the single choice, multiple choice. Those have always been there. You can do matching. So you can have 2 columns and have them match words, vocabulary words, terms with their definitions. You can do a rank order if you wanted them to rank either something they've learned or something that they're about to do in business. There's your short and long answer, fill in the blank, and then finally rating scale. But look at this one. Which do you choose? A 1-car garage or a 2-car garage? I don't know. I just made this one up. The point here, you can add an image to your question. So if you have an image that you need them to answer a question about, maybe you're teaching safety, maybe you're teaching broker responsibility. I tried looking for pictures of, you know, professionals in a picture. You know, a lot of copyright-free images are sort of general, but you could certainly get pictures of people in an office if you were teaching broker responsibility and you wanted to ask them a question about whatever and just have a picture there. It changes it up when you see the picture right there in the poll. And this is how you add the picture in. You can go to there it is, the hamburger button at the bottom, and there it is, upload image. So I had to have the image available already on my local drive, and then it just loads it right in. Nice, that's with advanced polls. So when you come in here to your Zoom library and you click on that create button, there are the 2 choices. Polls, the blue button, was the classic. That's the one that was always there. Single choice, multiple choice. But the other one, the green button, is the one with the images and the rating scales and the matching and the rank order. Yeah. All right, so I see a bunch of things in the chat there, just some ahas and oh my gosh, this is so wonderful. Photos for parts of a house or construction. I saw a lot of great construction photos. I use Pixabay or Pexels are some great resources for pictures. You can also do Canva, and there's a lot of the same pictures in there. You just need the picture to put in here. And these were standard 1920 by 780, you know, standard size, not too small, not too large. Wonderful. All right, so we've gotten to our Q&A portion of today. So I'll open it up for questions. Here we are, ask away.
I have one again. I'm back on the line again. The Zoom, I'm still thinking in terms of my PowerPoint. Is this something I put in my PowerPoint, or is it a separate from? I don't have that picture in my head.
Great question. Okay, so this is how I'm going to show you that answer. Great question. It is not in your Zoom, Jack. So this is a little strange way to view the screen. What you're seeing right now is my screen. So I have, there you are, you just spoke. So you're in my active speaker. If I go to gallery, you're just seeing my screen. What I see as I'm the co-host right now. So as the co-host, I'll just go back to speaker. So it's just me. And actually what I can do is, or Candace can do, is you can spotlight me. So if anybody asks a question, no one else will come up, just me on the screen on the recording. Thank you. And so, Jack, for your question, at the bottom of the screen, when you're a host or co-host, you see it there? It says polls, quizzes, right there.
Right.
So what you're going to do to launch a Zoom poll in the middle of a class, when you're in a PowerPoint, you can maybe have a slide that says polls, like this. So like this, right? You can just have a slide and you can say, okay, everybody, we are going to run a Zoom poll now. And you made a slide with a polls graphic just to clue everybody in that that's what's about to happen. Now I'm going to use that polls quizzes button in my host or co-host toolbar, and I'm going to pick a poll from the screen. Now, to help you along here, I'm going to go back to my other share like this. So you can see this, what I'm doing. There you go. So I hit the polls quizzes button and this comes up. It shows me the 3 polls that I had Jim put in the association account for this in the library and make active for this meeting. And there they are. Tell me something good. That was the one you took with what device are you on? Do you know your Zoom? That was one I made for last month. It's a classic one. It's not the advanced. And then yesterday he and I got on and tell me what you think. And I can relaunch it if I wanted to. And now you see that on your screen. Tell me what you think. See that? So all you're doing is you could have the PowerPoint still up. I don't have it up for you right now because I'm trying to show you the behind the scenes as well as have a teaching moment and show you what I would click there. But you could certainly leave your PowerPoint up on the screen while people are taking it. And then when you give them the clue, okay, we're going to just take 10 more seconds. I'm going to close the poll in about 10 seconds. And then you click end poll. And then you see how the button turns blue, share results. And then they're going to see, and then you can talk about the results that come up on the screen.
So I get to the slide that says poll, and then I click on Zoom polls. Will they be seeing when I choose the poll or just the poll itself?
Say that last part of your question.
Okay, I'm in a PowerPoint. I get to the slide that says polls. We're going to take a poll now,
Yep.
Okay, and I'll go down and click on
Yep.
polls quizzes. On their screen, they won't see me picking the poll until I actually click it, right?
That's right. They will not see, and I see Aisha's question. Okay, I'm
Oh.
going to answer both of your questions. First of all, the way that I'm showing you what I'm doing, this is a setting, as everything is in Zoom. Everything is a setting. The fact that I get to do this in my application, I have a setting turned on that says, when I screen share, show you my Zoom windows. It's a setting. And that really helps me in my career because I have to show you what the host bar looks like, and you normally can't see that. So if you are a leader of other instructors, maybe you're giving the Zoom instruction like I do, definitely turn on that setting, or you're helping other agents and brokers how to use Zoom, you can definitely turn on this setting. So it's in your settings. Show my Zoom windows is what it's called. So for Jack, I'm just going to relaunch it just so we can go back to the beginning again. So here, it's going to come up when you just had the slide up. Okay, everybody, we're going to run a Zoom poll now. And in your host bar, you're going to click on the polls and quizzes button. It might be, let me take you here. It might be in this. Does this look familiar, Jack? This is your share bar.
Right.
Because if you still have PowerPoint up on the screen, you're still sharing. So look, the polls and quizzes is in that bar too. See that?
Right.
So yours might be in there is what I'm kind of cluing you into. And then this will come up at the very top is a drop down of all of the polls that are active for this meeting.
Will the students see what you're seeing right here, or they? Okay, that's my question.
Very good question. They
Yeah.
do not see. Hi, I like showing myself here. They do not see this. This is behind the scenes.
Right.
You get to, this is where it's a little bit of multitasking and how well you can talk and click at the same time. If you feel like, or I shouldn't say if you feel like, if you have the luxury of having a helper, co-host, moderator with you. If I had Sandra with me, I would say, Sandra, I'm going to speak to them. And at the time that it's time to run the poll, I'm going to give you co-host capability. Could you please, click on polls? A co-host could do this for you. And then you could speak to them and say, Sandra, do you have the poll ready for everybody? Something like that.
Sure.
So if you had a helper, you could have them doing it while you're talking about it. They do not see this. You click on the poll you want, and then you say, launch poll. Here, hold on, let me get out of here. There we go. So because
when you
Mhm.
when you launch the poll, that's when they can see it.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I need. That's great.
The only reason I had to click relaunch is because I've launched it already. So
Right, I'm with you on that.
the first time in, it just says launch poll.
Right.
And yeah, so now you're seeing it on your screen. It's not on the recording, but you're seeing it because you're live with me. This is the behind the scenes that the recording is picking up, which you see in my screen share. I get a timer. I get how many people have participated. I can see the questions, if there were multiple questions, and what percentage has answered to those questions. And it allows me to talk you through it, to say, please scroll down. You'll see 8 questions. Make sure you click submit at the bottom. I can see that only 50% have answered. Please get your answers in now. The poll's going to end soon. You can talk them through it. And then when you say time's up, you do have to click the red button to say end poll.
And then when I do that, then I just end that and go back to just pick up where I was on PowerPoint and just start clicking.
You got it.
That sounds simple. That's good.
Yeah, it is. It does feel, I'm going to stop the share now. It
It
is.
yeah, it really
Yeah.
sounds more than polls everywhere. That's interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
That's great. I'm hush here because I don't mean to take over the class here, but there's so many places I can use this in my other business. I appreciate your time. Appreciate what you do too. And Candace, you've done a fantastic job for us this year. Unbelievable. So I've never been so informed as we went through the years I have this year with you there.
Oh, well,
go.
yay. We
So
hope to
nice.
continue it.
All
Yay.
right.
Hey, Candace. Well, thank you, Jack. It's really a great way to sum it up, is that you can see how easy and user-friendly and straightforward it is to use Zoom polls. It's all here in-house. You know, you can just make sure you get them all typed in ahead of time, either way, Zoom polls or Poll Everywhere. And you just launch it from the poll at the bottom. If I were to compare the two, you're going to, in Poll Everywhere, you're going to get more formats. You're going to get the word cloud. You won't get that here. You're going to get Q&A, you're going to get surveys over there and Poll Everywhere. You're going to have more formats. But if you just want to every 10 minutes, you know, be able to pull up something and have a discussion and see what their feedback is, this Zoom polls is the way to go. Got to have them all in there. Beautiful.
Betsy, I might have missed it. Is there a way to create folders in Zoom polls so that if you have multiple classes, you can go to that folder to get the polls that you need?
Really good question. I have not used them. If they're there, I'm taking a peek. Let me bring up no, I do not see folders, Wayne. I always love to stay, you know, one step ahead at least of all of you. And so let's bring that back up again. This is the background, the back end of Zoom in my Zoom account. And as you can see here, there aren't any folders. So you're gonna, you know, simply enable or disable the ones that you want available in every meeting, So you're going to enable the polls you want available to you in every meeting. So the one that's tell me what you think, I'm going to enable that. That's the real quickie, 1 to 5. Tell me what you think. You know, there's a matching. I've got a lot in here. Tell me something good, NC-REA. So that would only be for an NC-REA meeting. I might keep that one off, but when I make the meeting, make sure it's on for the meeting. I can do that at the meeting end. So that's all I would say, is just to, you know, if you want to have the ease of use, just turn them all on, but currently no folders. Anybody else here present have any way that you're currently using your Zoom polls? I'd love to hear from you. And Jack, you had something you wanted to add?
Yeah, I was going to say, will it let you make that list alphabetical or numerical?
Good questions. I have never sorted this. I'm just in here now with you live, and I'm clicking on the word name. There's no way to sort there. So I do not see that. That's something I've never tried. I can see here, okay, here's a way to filter, just brainstorming with you live. In the upper right corner, you can see a menu here. So I could bring up the classic polls. Those are just the single choice, multiple choice. I could bring up my advanced polls. Those are the ones with the matching and the rating scales and the ranking order and the images. So there's a way to filter it. And then you could, I didn't go through with you, you could turn a poll into a quiz if you want to be able to put the questions up there, have them answer, and be able to indicate whether the answer is correct or not. Does anybody need to see a quiz? Just use the raise hand button and I'll go through that if you want to. Okay, Aisha, I'll take that as a yes. So here, we're going to just turn on this do you know Zoom, just to show you the back end here. If I were to ask questions in my own Zoom questions, in my own Zoom classes. So a real easy question is, what color is the share screen button? If I were to just put it out there as a question, I give you some answers, choices, blue, green, or red. And then at the bottom of the question, look right there, it says set the answer. When I click there, I indicate which one is correct by clicking it. So right now, when I run this poll, you're going to be able to click on the answer, and then it's going to tell you in the results whether it is correct or not. And that's part of the sharing of the poll. I can turn on the answers so everybody can see. So this is the back end. where I can put my question in. It looks just like the other polls that we had. This is an advanced one. It is advanced polls and quizzes. And like here's one of the matching, just to give you an example. Match the meeting features with who can do them. Assign a co-host, end the meeting, launch a poll, raise and lower hands. Oh, well, who gets to do that? So on the right side, you can see here, I have drop downs of who gets to do those. Does the host? Is it the host or co-host? Is it the host, co-host, or participant? And then look, here's the set answer. So I get to put in who assigns a co-host? Only the host. Who can end the meeting? Only the host. Who launches a poll? The host or co-host. Who raises and lowers hands? Everybody. So I get to put in here what the answers are so that when it's taken as a quiz, and then I can share the answers, everybody can see how they did. So any questions on that?
I'm done.
All right.
I do have a different question.
Uh-huh.
In your travels through Zoom, have you found anybody who's come up with a better way to do math? I mean, I know you can do it by, writing on your screen, but like I use an iPad. Have you seen any other better way or, than whiteboard through Zoom or sharing your iPad that people are doing math or something where they're sharing? Do you get what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying. It would be specifically what types of math, let me take that off. What types of math are you looking to write equations? Because you need to, and just like you said, with an iPad, freehand writing an equation, if I would explore it further with you. What are the shortcomings of that? And what are you looking for it more to do? Because the ones you mentioned across the board is what I would go for. And then I would just investigate. Yes, Sandra, you want to add to that or?
Yeah, I have, Candace, I've done it in PowerPoint and just used the animation feature.
You use the animation feature while you're presenting?
Yes. So you have the problem up there and then you can float in the answer or pop it in.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So you've already answered the question.
Or you can get through the steps by animation as well.
Got you. Okay. Yes. Okay.
That's worked pretty well for me.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's what I would get. I would get into that conversation of what are the shortcomings. So do you need a way to have a discussion about what the answer is, as you're trying to solve it live with everyone? Are you trying to come up with different ways that would be easier to solve it? And when you're drawing freehand, you're teaching ways to solve it. I particularly love whiteboards, and Zoom has a brand new whiteboard. I don't know if you know about that, but there is a brand new whiteboard. I'll just give you a little peek as we're not going through that today, but in your accounts on the left-hand side, you can see whiteboards. This is under your zoom.us. You do have these whiteboards now that are available to you. I mean, all of these different templates are available to you. You have a little sticky note animated. I mean, they don't necessarily move, but they're graphics that you can just move right into place. So it's a real great upgrade from the current whiteboard that you see under your share screen, which I know is still there. So that might be a way to explore ways to teach math that maybe your, PowerPoint doesn't give you automatically. Like you could do this in PowerPoint. You could put together a slide like that. Just these are all templates that are made for you. Here's one I made. I made a tic-tac-toe template. I love running tic-tac-toe as a game, and what you put inside the boxes are things you've learned rather than X's and O's. You can do this in a breakout room, and you can have a whiteboard up in each breakout room and at least run it on Zoom that way. So I think based on what you said, Candace, those are really great options. I'm thinking of there's a RIA member, national RIA, John Mayfield, and he always has great apps that do all kinds, like an app. I would add an app to my iPad if it was made for teaching math or showing equations. And then when you're in a Zoom meeting, little shout out to John Mayfield there, when you're in a Zoom meeting, you can share your iPad, especially iPad and iPhone, the Apple devices, and you can show it right from your app. So I don't know a specific app offhand, but that's where I would go if you and I were having the conversation. I would go down that path.
I'll reach out to him because I'm wondering, that's what I usually do is connect my iPad and I'm doing it live.
Yeah.
And what I want to start doing is, because it's easier to write that way, allow the students to write on my iPad too. So kind of combining the whiteboard and Zoom and my iPad. So I could say, okay, you show me what you want to do and we're collaborating together. But I like the ability of how you can write on the iPad versus the whiteboard. So I'm just being picky. That's all. I'm just wanting the world.
I hear you. I don't think I have it right here next to me, but I have my iPad here next to me. But keep in mind that when they are writing with their hand on a mouse, it's much more difficult.
Hard. Yeah. Which is why I don't like it. So
than having this is a regular pen, but I have an Apple pen. And so that writes on the iPad so that your hand is in that pen fashion. A lot of people have touchscreen devices, laptops, even Microsoft Surface. So if you knew that everybody attending had a touchscreen device, yes, that would be awesome. That would be the way to go, man. That would be great. Yeah.
Sandra, we're going to need you to upgrade to get the commission to give us iPads for all pre-licensing students. It's just, see if you get Apple to just kick that in.
little tiny requirement there, a little tiny request. Well, wonderful. Is there any other questions before we wrap up?
This, as usual, has been amazing. Thank you so much, Betsy, sharing all of your wisdom. And you're just, I love listening to you. And that's saying a lot because I don't listen to a lot of people, including my parents. But I love listening to you as an instructor. You have such great energy.
Thank you so much. I may be calling you for a testimonial. That was wonderful.
Well, I will give it.
Thank you. Well, thanks, everybody. Anything that I can do for you, please let me know. You can most likely get my contact information if you don't have it already through Candace. I can put my email in the chat. I'll do that. And you can find me at mastertechclass.com. That is my website, mastertechclass.com. And I do have a learn page. I'll put that link in there, mastertechclass.com. So I've got some freebies there. Some people have taken advantage of it. I teach other things like Google Forms and how to customize your waiting room. And I've got a couple freebies up there as well as my courses. So take a look and you can contact me from there as well. Okay.
Oh, thank you again. And I hope everybody enjoyed it. And I hope I shall see everybody in 2 weeks at our fall conference, which I'm so excited about. Of course, Betsy, if you'd like to come, just let me know. I will gladly give you a pass because
thank you so much.
We'd love to have you.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I may take you up on that. I have to see the dates. I actually am going to be at the Outer Banks like the 10th through the 6th through the 10th around there. So
you just from the beach, come, watch, learn. On Friday, we have a presenter, Neil Pinder, who's going to present on technology is not just software. So he's going to talk about, how to choose a camera and choosing your microphone and things like that, which I want to get into having a second camera so that I can change the angles. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Love that. Love that. Sounds awesome.
All right, guys. Well,
Betsy, I have a question.
Oh,
yes.
It's nothing to do with anything you presented.
Yes.
It's just in relation, it appears to be a painting on the wall behind you.
That one?
Yes. Is that birch trees?
Yes, Sarah, very good.
I'm originally from New Hampshire, our state tree, and I love birch trees. That's a beautiful painting.
Well, thank you for noticing it. It is my favorite tree. So
Me too.
I grew up here in northern New Jersey, and we have white birch trees. It's not the state tree, but the property where I grew up was just filled with them, and it just stayed with me. And I love white birch trees. So when I was decorating this office and had to make my Zoom wall, I found that online. So that's the story behind it.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you for noticing it. There you go. All right, everybody.
All right, everybody, thank you so much and have a great weekend. Be safe. Don't catch the cooties. Sharing is not caring when it's the cooties. There you go. All right, bye, everybody.
Bye.